Blessings everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and you are watching Spotless Mind Tarot. Today I will be pulling cards for each of the 12 zodiac signs in order to receive insights into the Cancer new moon, which occurs on June 25th, 2025 at 4 degrees and 8 minutes. In this reading, we will see how the energies of this particular moon cycle will be affecting you for the next 6 months in the house of Cancer in your birth chart. The 6-month cycle will build up to the Cancer full moon, which takes place on January 3rd, 2025 at 13 degrees and 2 minutes. I'll be using the Albano-Waite Tarot deck and the Urban Crow Oracle for these readings. As always, watch for your rising sun and or moon sign to get the most out of these readings. If you're not familiar with astrology, then the sign that you're born under according to your birth date is good enough. Timestamps for each of the zodiac signs are below in the description. If you would like to support my channel, then please like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to tap the notifications bell so you could see notifications whenever I upload a new video to my channel. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter, and if you would like to book a private tarot reading with me, you may do so through my Etsy shop. I also accept tips through PayPal and Venmo. All information and the links can be found in the description below. Aries, rising moon or sun sign. With Aries on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your 4th house of ancestry, home, family, environment and foundations, emotional security, and domestic affairs. Okay, so for you guys, we have the 5 of Swords and the 6 of Cups. And so immediately, and it's interesting because I see the bottom of the deck, which is the Ace of Wands, okay? So immediately, I feel like you're making amends. Now, first of all, I heard cutting ties, but I think this is about making amends. I feel like you're making up for something. There's something you've done wrong, and now you're making up for it. This could be somebody else in your life, especially another Aries in your life that's like coming back around to apologize to you, to make up something to you. Maybe they owe you something or they promised you something, and so now they're fulfilling that promise. Or you could be doing this. And of course, this is relating to the 4th house, so it can be a family matter. It could even just be something very karmic, like something attached to the past life, if it is that deep for you. Overall, I do feel like you're pretty content at this time. I feel like there's not much going on as far as like emotions go. Now with the 5 of Swords, you could be having a lot of mental activities since it is air energy and air sign energy. And so let's see, this is Venus and Aquarius that we're dealing with. And so yeah, it could be a relationship, but overall, you know, going back to like the chatter in your mind, you could just have a lot going through your mind. I don't think it's stressing you out or anything. I think it's just like there's just like a flow of thoughts coming to you, okay? And it is here to help you organize and to kind of sort things out, okay? With the 6 of Cups, it is about like figuring stuff out, coming together. Okay, you know, this is a card about apologies. It is about like someone coming back from the past to give you something, like maybe you lost something and they're giving it back to you. Okay, so there's like quite a few things going on here. Okay, and then with the Venus and Aquarius energy, this could be somebody that has Venus and Aquarius that you're dealing with, okay? Or like that's the energy. So maybe there's some detachment or, and the detachment can come from maybe they just aren't into the same things you're into. And so, you know, you don't really get along in that way, you know? So maybe you could have your Venus in a sign that's in opposition. Well, maybe not opposition. I would say maybe there's a sextile between your Venus and their Venus, and so that can create like, I know it sounds weird, but it could create differences. I know like sextiles and trines can get like a harmonious label attached to it, but harmonious doesn't always mean like good, okay? It just means that the energy flows easily. And so these differences that you're experiencing with this other person, whoever they may be, it's just like natural that you guys just don't, like, it's like you don't get it, or it's like it feels like they don't get it, okay? So yeah, I kind of got a little lost in that message, but I think the main thing here is to kind of like, you could see it as a lesson, just take it as like they have their differences and you have yours, and you can kind of just work around it. Maybe you can reconcile, maybe you can compromise, especially if this is like a business partner, okay? You can just kind of like come to an agreement, and it's 12:12 on the clock. It's kind of like, you know, agree to disagree energy, but not in like a, I'm not getting anything negative, okay? Because I feel like this person that you're dealing with, it's like they're not against you or anything, they just have differences, okay? And we're all different, okay? Then that's what Aquarius speaks about. It speaks about individual differences, but like still coming together and still working together. It is a sign of networking, and with networking, it's like different people in different fields come together to help each other out and to do work for each other, you know? Like a painter, you know, for example, I don't wonder if he's watching, but my brother-in-law, he does a lot of networking. He's part of like a club, and he designed a website for the guy who painted the interior of their house. And so he provided like the same costly service to this painter in exchange to paint the inside of their house. And so there could be something like that going on. Maybe there's some bartering going on, but it's just like, you know, you guys do different things, but you could help each other out, okay? It's like scratch my back and I'll scratch yours, okay? So I do kind of feel it's a little specific of a message, but that's what came out. And so I'm flowing right now. We're just going with it. Okay, and with Ace of Swords or Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck too, that can speak of creativity, and there can be some great achievement in this if you are dealing with whatever I just said. Now going back to the beginning where I said there's some reconciliation going on, this could also be you coming to terms on your own, kind of just accepting things for the way they are, okay? And again, I do feel like there's not much going on. It's like nothing's bad or nothing's good, or it's very neutral. I would say it's more good than anything. I kind of feel like it's like a slow down time for you, okay? It's like a time for you kind of, and this is the 4th house, so this would be a good time for you to kind of just slow down, take things easy, and not rush anything, not force anything, and kind of just do your thing, and even be there for people. I feel like if you haven't yet already, this new moon could trigger something to where you need to be there for another person. It could be a family member. So whether you need to be there physically, emotionally, maybe you need to offer financial help or something. Either way, you could just be there for family, or maybe just get together with family a little bit more this season, this Cancer season, because I think it's going to be healing. It's going to be really good for you, okay? And so that's basically what I got for you guys. I think in accordance to your Cancer house. Now, of course, listen to your other signs, and if you have like planets in Cancer, things might turn out a little differently. But overall, in the house of Cancer, I feel like the next 6 months, it's going to go pretty smooth, kind of under the radar, especially if you don't have anything in Cancer, okay, in your 4th house or wherever Cancer is in your chart. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of activity there overall, but there is like repair, reconciliation, accepting, forgiving, coming together, and like settling differences, okay, in the house wherever Cancer occupies. Okay, so I think that covers it for you guys. Now I will pull an oracle card from the Urban Crow Oracle deck to give you a oracle message. So for you guys, we got 17 exposed. All right, so the book says 17 exposed. Alone and unprotected, the fledgling is vulnerable to attack. Exposed may indicate you are being thrust into the spotlight, and potentially not in a good way, depending on the circumstances. As a result, you may feel helpless and fear possible criticism. Exposed may also point to an open and free opportunity for the taking, as there will not be much in the way of opposition. Exposed speaks to the feelings that surface as a result of feeling vulnerable. Are you comfortable putting yourself out there? Does facing criticism cause you to freeze up? What opportunities have you possibly missed because of a fear of being seen? Exposed may also present itself as a call to examine your situation more carefully, as a piece of valuable information is becoming clear. Something or someone may expose their flaws or weaknesses, and this may prove to be beneficial information in the future. So thank you so much for watching, Aries, and I'll catch you in the next video. Taurus, rising, moon, or sun sign. With Taurus on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your third house of communications, language, writing, short distance travel, education, your neighbors, and your relatives. So for you guys, we got the Nine of Pentacles and then the Page of Pentacles. And so you guys are really in your earthly energy right now during Cancer season. I feel like you guys are really busy, or you're working on some kind of project right now. And this is a great time to work on projects since we are dealing with the third house. And so maybe you recently have been inspired to begin this project, whatever it may be. However, whatever is going on in your life, I feel like it is going to be long lasting. Okay. And also get a sense that with the Nine of Pentacles, I kind of feel like for a long time, you've been really comfortable. You've been really steady. There hasn't been many ups and downs for the most part. And I feel like you just have an overabundance, or you have a lot of resources, or you saved up a lot of money, or you've collected a lot of something, okay? And it doesn't have to be material either. And now you're taking a piece of that. You're literally taking one of the pentacles, okay? And you're doing something about it. You're doing something with it. And so you can be like cleaning closet and like discovering new things or old things in your closet, whether that's literally or metaphorically. And you're kind of like, I'm getting an image of like the page is polishing off the pentacle, like he's taking like the I don't know, you see it like in movies where they take like the cloth on their wrist and like polish something off. That's like the visual I was getting. And so yeah, it's like you're kind of like renewing something. You could be renewing something. I got something like that with Aries too. And something that I noticed with these readings is that they tend to have a common theme across all zodiac signs. And so maybe renewal is a theme, and that is kind of like a Cancer energy anyways, is renewal, because it deals with the home and the family, and you know, that could deal with ancestry. Although I kind of like relate Capricorn to ancestry. They're opposite each other, so they kind of like play off each other. And I got the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and so this is a good time for you to build on something, to renew something, or to build on something in general. This is a good time for you to spend a little money on something to get a project going. Maybe there's renovations happening. Okay, maybe you need to move. The third house is about short distance travel, so you could be planning on moving, or maybe it would be a good time to start considering moving, start looking at the market, see what's available for you. Either way, it would be a good time to be a little active in that sense, and I would say at least in your local community, so maybe go out a little bit more. There's something there that's really beneficial for you. Maybe you'll meet something, or maybe the experiences that you have will just be beneficial for you in the future, okay? And so this is a time of building something long lasting, something that you could potentially pass on. This could be related to family. This could be like you taking over the family business, or discovering a family heirloom, okay? And doing something with it, okay? You know, this could even speak of like antiques. The 10 of Pentacles, it could be inheritances. This is like the card of like ancestry and lineage, okay? So yeah, there's just a lot going on in the areas that I've mentioned so far. I feel like for you guys, there's activity. Aries, I didn't get too much activity in the house of Cancer. So for you guys in the house of Cancer, I feel like that will be, so if it's not your third house, like if you're rising, if you're not a Taurus rising and it's somewhere else, obviously watch for that sign. But I feel like when it comes to the Taurus energy in your chart, in relationship to the Cancer energy in your chart, now I lost my train of thought. But okay, so that's where you want to, or that's where you're going to see a lot of new growth, okay? A lot of having to build from the bottom up, a lot of like a long-term investment, okay? So there's a lot of engagement in the house of Cancer, or even the third house. So look at your third house too, where you're going to see all this activity, okay? So this is a good time financially as well, because the Nine of Pentacles does speak about like savings and just being cool with what you got. Like you got it all, you got everything you need. What more do you need? You're content, you're good. But the Page of Pentacles is kind of presenting everything's good, but you want more, or there's more to do. And so the Page of Pentacles is kind of like getting that going for you, kind of just getting the ball rolling for you, okay? And so I feel like that's kind of it as far as this reading goes. I'm not getting anything else, so we're just gonna end it there. So now I'm gonna pull oracle cards for you, and we'll see what the oracles have to say. So the oracle card we got for you guys is number 7, catching. And I feel like that kind of goes along with what I was saying. I get this card a lot, so it's pretty good, I think. All right, so 7, catching. One day while feeding my neighborhood crows, I noticed one of them using their beak to push around some decaying leaves and then dig a hole. The bird looked around, checking to make sure it wasn't being watched, and then swiftly opened its mouth and dropped in the food. It was saving the dog kibble I had given it for later. The crow didn't want to eat the food right away, but it also didn't want to leave it around for some other creature to enjoy. You may find yourself either keeping an idea or possession hidden till the time is right, or simply unwilling to let go of something you aren't using out of fear that someone else may benefit from your release or surrendering. Sometimes the moment is not right to move forward. However, it doesn't mean that the time will never arrive. You may be working on a project that holds a great deal of promise, but you are unable to devote the energy at the moment. Setting the idea aside does not mean giving it up. It just means that you recognize there will be value in waiting. Catching may also indicate that you will benefit from investing. This may be investing in yourself or investing in a financial institution. So that's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, Taurus, and I will catch you in the next video. Gemini rising, moon, or a sun sign. With Gemini on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your second house of resources, material possessions, your wants, needs, desires, and your sense of security. So for you guys, we got the 4 of Wands and the 8 of Pentacles. And the 8 of Pentacles. And so for you guys, I feel like something brand new is entering into your life, or already has, and it's a new opportunity. Okay, it's a new opportunity for you to showcase your skills, to put your skills to good use. So maybe there's something you're really good at that you haven't done in a long time. Maybe you're a painter, maybe you can, like, I'm getting like metal, like maybe you do, what's that called? I don't know, there's like a name for like metal work, I don't know, but yeah, so maybe you do something that's like construction, okay? Something that you can build, okay? Not everyone that's a Gemini watching is in construction, but it's something that you do with your hands that you're very skilled at, you're really good at, okay? There could be a new opportunity that comes in, being triggered by the Cancer new moon, that allows you to finally put those skills to use, okay? I also feel like you're being released from something. So for some of you, maybe you had to deal with like law or lawsuits or something like that. So either you're a lawyer or maybe you had like a case that you had to deal with. I feel like that's coming to an end now, okay? I do know I have a client that was going to do the bar exam, I believe, this month. And so maybe that is something going on, and that's why I'm picking it up. And I'm pretty sure it's Gemini energy. I can't remember. But I always get that with Gemini and like Sag. It's like there's like a lawyer energy to it. But it doesn't have to be. But it could just be something like diplomatic or something in that way. Which is pretty much an air energy. You know, Gemini can be diplomatic, you know. Air energy likes to, you know, it understands the rules, understands the law, okay, whether or not they follow it. They understand the way things work, like there's an order to things, there's a structure, even a hierarchy to things, okay? And so that's definitely like air energy, Gemini energy. And so second house resources, this is all about what you have to offer, what you've acquired, okay, what you have in savings, whether like financially or else otherwise, something else, okay? And so yeah, just this is just a good time for you to utilize your skills, okay? This could also be you employing somebody else with great skill to help you build something, to help you acquire something. You could even be going back to school even. Overall, there's just, there's some kind of like apprenticeship. There's some kind of like learning involved, okay? It's applying something and maybe even being taught something, okay? But okay, so like, yeah, like an apprenticeship where you're working, but you're also learning. So it's something like that, because that's kind of what the Eight of Pentacles is about. It is about completing something and like utilizing what you got, okay? And so there's a learning and maybe even teaching experience going on here. Overall, I feel like things are going pretty good. I feel like finances are fairly okay for you guys right now. I think they're going to get better later on. So if you are struggling financially, I do feel that it's going to pick up here pretty soon, especially the more you tap into that creative energy, okay? Again, using your hands more, maybe even like gardening or something, or rearranging the furniture in your house, okay? Or like going through stuff. Like, I think just being active with your hands can, you know, it's gonna manifest that energy. It's gonna manifest more of the Four of Wands energy and more abundance into your life, okay? The Four of Wands is about celebration. It is about stability, okay? And opportunities. What I'm really getting, there's just opportunity here, okay? So even if you don't know what to do, like I said, like rearrange furniture or just work with your hands a little bit more right now, okay? Get your hands dirty. I think it's gonna just invite, it's gonna welcome in that abundance, okay? Okay, so I kind of feel like that's what I got for you guys. It's kind of short. I feel like this energy, this Cancer new moon, which it's conjunct Jupiter, by the way. There's other stuff going on right now that's crazy. I mean, you could evidently see it in the world, but astrologically, it's a little nuts right now. But I feel like this new moon's going to give some relief to us, some reconciliation, and a renewal of some kind. So this new moon in Cancer is all about renewal, and this energy will lead us 6 months until the next full moon in Cancer in January. And so wherever Cancer is placed in your chart, if it's not in the second house and it's somewhere else, this is where you're going to expect to see renewal, okay? Even if you aren't a Cancer rising, your second house is still being activated. So pay attention to where what's going on in your sixth house or your second house, okay? And see how you can utilize this energy, especially for the Gemini energy in your chart, okay? So I think that's all I'm gonna say for you guys. Let's go ahead and pull an oracle card for you. So for you guys, the oracle card we got is number 28, luck. Very lucky. Okay, so the book says 28, luck. It is a happy day for the crow who finds fish raining from the sky. Something good is coming. Be sure to position yourself in a place that will yield the best results. Luck does not happen by accident, although it often feels that way. Luck occurs when we are in the right position at the right time with the right skills. When luck appears, good fortune is coming, but it will be your talents that will seal the deal. Imagine being fortunate enough to be on an elevator with the person who you have been waiting to pitch an idea to. It's only luck if you are prepared and ready to articulate your vision. Otherwise, it's just another elevator ride. So I think that's perfect for everything I said in this reading, Gemini. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Cancer rising moon or sun sign with Cancer on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your first house of identity, sense of self, your soul's direction, and your place in the world. So for you guys, we got the 9 of Cups and the High Priestess. And so you guys, I think, are gonna feel like, if you've been going through it, I feel like this new moon's going to finally give you some relief. But overall, I do feel like you guys are in a really good place. So if you're not in a good place, rest assured, I feel like a lot of good things are coming. Or the good is already there and you're just not like seeing into it, which maybe we'll get into this reading, okay? Because the High Priestess can speak about things that are unseen, that are hidden, that require a sense of consciousness or perception into the unknown in order to see it or receive it. Okay, but overall with the 9 of Cups, I do feel like you guys are just in a great place. I feel like you're secure emotionally, at least. It's interesting because for Taurus, we got the 9 of Pentacles, and so for them, they're secured like financially, resourcefully, even with skill and talent. With you guys, this has to deal with emotion. And I'm also getting maybe even like communication or some kind of air element to this, okay? The High Priestess can be a little airy, okay? But she's generally a water energy, okay? I would say it's like water air energy, or like the alchemy of like water and air, which I'm not sure what would make from that. Like I don't know what water and air would make, if that's like a thing. Maybe you know what that means. But yeah, it's just like the thing is about this card, I feel like you need to turn around like maybe literally and like look what's behind you. Like look what has your back or who has your back. I feel like you have so much backing you up and you just don't realize it yet, or you're overlooking it, or maybe you need to have some gratitude, okay? Or maybe practice gratitude a little bit more every day. Like just a simple act of gratitude is just to go around and just tell yourself that you're grateful for these things, okay? Whatever it may be, you know, being grateful for light and running water is definitely something that is overlooked. Like we don't really think about it too much, right? But let's say there's like a storm going on or something, or there's repairs being done to the pipeline and your power or your lights go off and it's like you can't use the water or you can't use the lights, and then you kind of realize how like essential it is to the way at least we live in the Western world, how essential these things are and how like we rely so heavily on this stuff. We might like to pretend like we could survive anything, but can we really, you know, we have the luxury of these things. So be grateful for that. Be grateful for those things that require you to get through your day, the things that assist you in your life, whether or not you think you need it or whether or not you actually do. As a human being, show some gratitude towards that, okay? Because I feel like when you do that, you could activate this high priestess energy. You could start seeing past things. You could start seeing into the unknown and hidden things that lie beyond gratitude, I guess, or just whatever it is, okay? It could be love, okay? Maybe there's a relationship where this is all applying to. It could really be anything though, because this is the first house energy. Even if you're not a Cancer rising, you still have your first house being activated here with the Cancer in your birth chart, okay? And you can look at it like this. Your moon sign can also be your rising sign, okay? Because it is the rising of your moon chart, okay? That when you cast a moon chart, it puts your moon in the first house, okay? And so same with the sun sign. It doesn't matter, like rising sign or moon, you can all put them in the first house, and like you could still see how it unfolds in your life and how it relates to you, okay? So with this Cancer new moon, I feel like you should really just tap into yourself, tune into yourself, gratitude, love, all those things, and to really tap into your emotional security, or tap into what gives you emotional security. There's some emotional maturity here. I feel like an evolved Cancer is probably the most mature emotionally individual like ever that can be conceived, okay? Like an evolved Cancer, right? Or even just the sign of Cancer on its own, the archetype of Cancer is definitely emotionally mature. I mean, it's the sign of the crab, where on the inside it's all soft and mushy, and on the outside there's this protective, hard exterior. And to me, that just screams emotional security, right? Like, you have your feelings, right? You don't deny that, you're soft inside, but at the same time, you have to protect that, because vulnerability isn't always a good thing, okay? Sometimes it can be, but for the most part, and depending on the type of person you are, if you do have your moon in the first house, then you tend to wear your heart on your sleeve anyways. But even then, like, if it's in the sign of Cancer, it's going to still be, there's going to be a layer of protection here. And to me, I see that as a layer of emotional maturity here, okay? And so for the next 6 months, when it comes to just your overall position in the world, your overall presence, there's going to be some development around the way you express your feelings and how you express them, as well as how you share and go about it, okay? I also feel like with the High Priestess, there could be an increase in psychic activity, especially with Jupiter here in your sign for the next year or so. And he's conjunct this new moon. Is like, he's off by like a degree or two, okay? So he's right there, adding extra support. And so I do feel like this new moon is going to give us a break, finally. All the signs, like, it feels really good, okay? Like, this new moon feels really comforting, and I'm recording this the day before, so we're in that new moon energy. With everything else going on, I feel like this is going to just give us a break for a moment, okay? And during that moment, you want to plant your seed. So 6 months from now, up until January, when we have the full moon in Cancer, you could really see this come in to a full circle, okay? You could see how much you're able to tap in to those unknown and hidden parts of reality, of yourself, of anything, of music, of art, of other people, of whatever it is that you're interested in, or whatever it is that you come across in your life. You're going to be really tuned into that frequency. And the more you tap into that frequency, the more you do see more miracles, the more you do see more magic in your life, okay? It's like catching numbers on the clock, the more you get into that and tap into that, the more you're gonna see it. And yeah, like sometimes it doesn't really mean anything to you at that moment, or it doesn't seem like it, but you're still tapping into the magic of reality. Okay, that's like another big thing. I think it's time for you to really just like see life in a new and an exciting way that brings magic into your everyday life. It's something I've been thinking about recently too, how like my life is like my brain, like my mind, there's so much magic that goes on inside of me, inside my head. I daydream a lot. I'm a Pisces moon, right? So I got all that like rose-colored glasses perspective on the world. But I realized like how much it brings meaning into my life, to where I see meaning in a lot of things, you know, and I see meaning in the bugs, I see meaning in the clouds, I see meaning in just about anything and everything. And so I think that has a lot to do with tapping into that magic, and kind of just, it is a bit like living in a fantasy world. But at the same time, it's just like, if you don't live like that, if you don't think like that and see the world like that, then the world's not going to be that, right? So if you want to see the world like that, then you got to start tapping into that. And for you guys, I feel like that's what's going to be happening for the next year, for sure, maybe year and a half, but definitely for the next 6 months with Jupiter there. I think Jupiter's really going to help you just be like, he gives optimism, you know. He also wears rose-colored glasses. Like, that's something we can't forget, that Jupiter can be a bit idealistic, or, you know, a bit like not realistic. Like, he has these grand ideas that sound great and amazing, but maybe doesn't take the right steps to execute it, you know. It depends, but just overall, just that energy will be assisting you in your life for quite some time. Okay, and so I think it's a lot of fun. Really, what I'm getting from this is that there's like a lot of fun and excitement and very playful energy entering into your life at this time. Okay, and I feel like there's a lot more to say, but I'm going to just end it there. If you do want a private tarot reading with me, I do offer that. I also do a new moon private tarot reading, okay? And I actually go really in depth there. We cover 5 key areas of your life, okay? And so if you're interested in that, you can book it with me. We can go over this new moon for you, or any other new moon that you may be interested in. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some oracle card, or just one oracle card, see what the crows have to say. Okay, so for you guys, we got number 24, illusion. Okay, so 24, illusion. Have you ever been absolutely, positively, 100% certain about a situation, only to find that the complete opposite is true? During a reading, illusion may surface to help you uncover if you are clinging to a narrative that suits your feelings about a situation rather than the facts. For example, the person who spends their day angry that their email was not answered. They assume the recipient read it and ignored it. All that energy being upset and angry could have been avoided if they just realized that they themselves forgot to hit send. Illusion might appear if we are operating on a false assumptions, or if we are in denial and do not want to accept the reality of a situation. When we double down or commit to the story we created in our minds, our actions and behaviors are then a byproduct of what we want or assume to be true. If our assumptions are wrong, our actions and behaviors may have negative consequences. Does your interpretation match reality, or are you acting on an illusion? So thank you so much for watching, Cancer, and I will catch you in the next video. Leo, rising moon or sun sign. With Leo on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your 12th house of hidden realms, enemies, dreams, fantasies, secrets, and solitude. You guys, we got the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Wands. Okay, so I think it's interesting that Taurus got the 9 of Pentacles, Cancer got the 9 of Cups, and you guys got the 9 of Wands. And so the past 3 signs, I think, for the most part, are in a pretty good place. I mean, there's not much to say. I mean, the 9 of Wands tends to speak about a place of contentment, a place of security, a place of feeling accomplished, feeling just at peace, and like just all the good things. Like there's nothing really bad you can say or speak on, like, because everything's going so well. Okay. And the Knights of Wands is interesting because this is Leo energy, and so I feel like you guys are kind of like already celebrating Leo season. You guys are already just in that Leo energy. You guys are and I mean, I feel like that's inevitable because it's summertime, and like this is like the time when you guys really shine, because this is when the sun is at its highest, and it is the days are longer, there's more sunlight in a day. And so why wouldn't a Leo just feel so great right now, right? Because you guys are ruled by the sun. I feel like you guys are just off on an adventure here with the Knights of Wands. I feel like you guys are going to enter into a new phase of your life. There is a leap of faith happening because we are dealing with the 12th house, and so you are taking a leap of faith in the 12th house. Whether or not you are a Leo rising, your 12th house is still being activated. So there's something here taking place, and it's going to put you on a new adventure, and it's a venture into the unknown. So there is a bit of like the Fool card energy here, okay, even if we don't have it. So there's this excitement, there's this restlessness. You're so eager to just get out there and get things going, okay? So I feel like for a lot of you, you guys are going to be stepping out more this season. There's going to be something that happens around the new moon that just gets, it's kind of like it jolts you. It kind of adds like a jump to the system, okay? And so you find yourself motivated, you find yourself energized. And I think it's because you've just had so much built up inside of you that you have not been like releasing or expressing, okay? And it's more physical energy. So even if like you are physically active, I feel like there's still a lot more that's like being stored away, okay? It's kind of like saving it for a rainy day. So this could even mean like maybe you're preparing to go run a marathon, and so when you go out on a run, like you're not giving it your all necessarily. You're kind of it's like they say, you're pulling your punches. You're kind of holding back because you're waiting to put all that energy into something else, okay? So that could be it. So there is a sense of you needing to reserve some energy for an event or for something like that. At the same time, I do feel like you are gonna just, whatever it is, I feel like you're just going for it, okay? And for the most part, I think it's pretty positive. I feel like this new moon is going to give all of us some relief finally. I mean, the rest of the sky is crazy right now. The astrology is crazy. The world is crazy. But I really do feel like this new moon is kind of giving us a break. And with Jupiter there, I think it is going to give us some blessings, okay? Now, I didn't look at all the aspects of this new moon, so I don't know what harsh aspects there are, but regardless of what is going on, I still feel like there's a lot of renewal, a lot of blessing, a lot of new opportunity coming in to kind of like restart, okay? And it's kind of like summer vibes. It is a chance for you to kind of like restart and start over. I think that's all I got for you guys. You know, it was pretty straight to the point. It's pretty, these readings are kind of short and sweet. I feel even if there's a lot of activity going on, I feel like it's pretty soothing because it's Cancer, and I kind of just feel like everyone's just kind of, I don't know, I feel like everyone's in a good place for the most part. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys. Let's go ahead and pull Oracle card for you and see what the Urban Crow Oracle has to say. So for you guys, we got number 9, communication. There we go. All right, 9, communication. When I lived in my 3rd floor apartment, one of my neighborhood crows would often come calling on my balcony in the morning. There was one crow in particular that stood out that my daughter and I eventually named Brave One, because he or she would go right up to our sliding glass door and rap-a-tap-tap immediately with its beak. This delightfully persistent bird was looking for a handout. Communication brings a message to speak up, state what you want. You may think those around you know your needs and desires, but that may not be the case. Now is the time to articulate your wishes. Communication asks that you get clear on what you want so that there will be no misunderstanding or confusion later. Although communication may point to a situation on an earthly level, it may also indicate that you need to be clear with what you want when communicating with your spirit guides or higher self. Are you being too vague? Are you asking for what you want exactly? So that's what I got for you guys, Leo. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Virgo rising, moon, or sun sign placement. With Virgo on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your 11th house of networks, community involvement, your social circle, creative projects, aspirations, and gains. So for you guys, we got Justice and the High Priestess. Okay, so I feel like right now, so Mars is going through your sign right now, and later in about 30 days, it's going to meet up with the South Node that's in your sign as well, okay? So it's something to pay attention to and look out for. I would be wary of accidents. You may be a little more prone to injury. Either way, I do feel with the Justice card that you are receiving some kind of karmic redemption, okay? And so this could happen over the course of 6 months. This new moon should give you insight into what that may be exactly. It can be related to the 11th house, because this is the Virgo energy in your chart. However, wherever Virgo is in your birth chart, generally speaking, that could be also where you will receive this energy, okay? So if the 11th house isn't Virgo for you, I feel like through the 11th house, you can attract it into whatever house it may be in, okay? Okay, so there's some alchemy there, okay? And with Justice and High Priestess, you know, I guess you can I've never seen them in this light before, but it's like you can see them as two sides of the same coin in some aspect, because the High Priestess does speak unjustly matters. It just has to deal with the astral and the unseen and hidden aspects of her reality. She brings justice to those things because she's able to see and pierce through the veil. She's basically a conduit, or like a vessel, okay? She's a receptor of things, okay? And so by being able to see the truth, she could speak the truth, okay? She could bring justice in that sense, okay? And so overall, Cancer season, this new moon, or even wherever Cancer is in your chart for the next 6 months, there's just like, again, there's just redemption is what I'm getting. There's balance being brought as well, because this is Libra energy. So you could find balance in this house finally, in this area of your life. It can deal with family, because we are dealing with Cancer, and Cancer is family in the home front. And so maybe if you're dealing with family courts, there could be justice brought with that, okay? Or if there's like a family situation happening, there will be justice brought to that. Now, that justice will probably be in your favor, because I'm pulling these cards for you, okay? But if it's like you and your family against something else, you and your family will receive justice, okay? So it could be that. So it doesn't have to be like disputes between you and a family member. It could be literally like your family in dispute with something else, okay? Or yeah, like whatever it may be. It could even be something like spiritual. It could be something ancestral, okay? It could be something that is hidden and not seen, because we're dealing with the High Priestess. So there could be like ending generational curses, okay? There could be even like a reveal. Maybe you learned something about an ancestor, grandparent, something you didn't know before. Maybe this is gonna sound like upsetting, but maybe like there was abuse or something that they experienced, and you're just now finding out, and somehow that abuse affected your mother, and that how it affected your mother is affecting you. But now that you know, you can become aware of it. You could see into the veil, and realize that there's something that's in your life that you do or is happening as a result of this, and that's how generational curses begin. And so you are there to basically immediately put a stop to it, okay? But I feel like it is about becoming more aware. So I feel like it could be more than one instance where you're going to experience this. It doesn't have to be family, but it is Cancer, so you could expect to see it there. Okay, it could even be other people, but maybe somewhere down the line, maybe they're related to you. I mean, they say we're all like cousins of each other in some way. So, I mean, maybe there are people like close to you that you don't even realize that you guys share like a common ancestor. Doesn't matter how far back it goes, it's definitely there and it exists. And so there could be some connection there with that. Overall, I do feel this is good. I really do feel this new moon is bringing relief to all of us. It's going to renew something for us. And so that's what this could be as well. There's a renewal happening here. Oh yeah, I do remember what I was talking about. And so you could have a lot of things that come up that kind of, you could look at it as like past life memory, whether or not it's like your memory or memories in general, like metaphorically, it's just like past life memories, like, like the example I gave with the generational curse, it's like, that's a memory that's in your DNA or within your family's consciousness. We're all connected to, especially through the mother. So I am thinking through maternal family line. Okay, it doesn't have to be, but this is what I'm thinking, or a grandmother or something. Okay, so I am thinking like feminine energy. So your maternal, or, and there's another way of saying it, matrilineal, or I'm just gonna say maternal. There's another way to say it. That line's actually really, really important, especially if you're a woman, and if you're a man, then obviously your father's side, the male bloodline is really important. But even still, like, the female bloodline is actually really, really important. And we're taught in this patriarchal society you look at the father's side and you take the father's last name and everything, but genetically speaking, like the woman in your life, the full female line, like from grandmother to grandmother to grandmother, like that is like really, really special. And I also feel like, at least in my case, I can only go so far back on that side, whereas everyone else I can go really, really far. But like my maternal line, especially through my mom, I can only go like, I want to say like 8 generations or something. Before that, I don't have any information, okay? At least not right now. And so, and it's like really crucial because I really want that information. I really want to see like where does it really come from? Because there's so much mystery there. And with all that said, you could be shedding light on that kind of mystery, on the feminine aspect in your life, the feminine principle in your life, okay? So yeah, overall, great energy, great vibes. Jupiter's in Cancer too, so he's going to be there to really increase the Cancer energy. And I do feel like it's going to bring some relief in these crazy, crazy times right now. And so don't take this for granted. I feel like this new moon, regardless of whatever is going on, and it's going to be crazy to say, like, whatever aspects it's making to you, I just still feel like it's gonna bless us collectively, okay? Like, there's really something powerful happening here. And for you guys, really, really powerful stuff. And it's really cool. Like, I really enjoyed this reading. So with that said, I am gonna stop there. I'm going to pull an oracle card and let's see what the oracle has to say. Okay, so for you guys, we got number 32, nature. Okay. 32, nature. It is our connection to nature that fills our spirit and reunites us with divine energy. Living in a city full of concrete buildings, it can feel as though Mother Nature resides so far away, but she is here in the grass that sprouts up in the cracks on the sidewalk, in the overgrown empty lots, in the birds that mingle with us in the park. All we need to do is look and we will find that connection. Nature asks that you see the evidence of divine energy that is all around you, regardless of the landscape. When nature appears, it may also indicate that you are long overdue for some outside time. Take this as a cue to go for a walk, head out into a park, or go to the beach. New ideas and inspiration will come through connecting with nature. And I think that's great because we are speaking on the feminine energy, and nature is definitely the most feminine energy on this planet. So thank you so much for watching, Virgo, and I will catch you in the next video. Libra, rising, moon, or sun sign. With Libra on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your 10th house of vocation, careers, public image, legacy, long-term plans, and your impact on the world. For you guys, we got the 8 of Pentacles, and then we got Strength in reverse. Okay, so it's interesting because I've been paying attention to the seasons and like how I react to them, and how like what tends to manifest during each season based on my rising sign, which is Libra. So I am a Libra rising, and so I can relate to this reading. But I notice when the sun is in Cancer, which is the 10th house, I feel like I get the opposite effect of what people would typically say. Like this would be a time to stand out and to like be seen and shown in the world, but I find the opposite, and maybe it's because my sun opposes the midhaven, the 10th house, and so when you have this aspect, you tend to be a little more shy and a little less like wanting to be in the public eye. Like overall in your life, like I'm definitely very introverted, and so I find Cancer season to be a time where instead of being out there like with my skills and talents and whatever, you know, career, vocation, my creativity in general, I like taking a step back and taking a break. Like I find myself being really, really productive in things that interest me. So because I don't work, right? And so last year or a couple of years ago, I made a Kabbalah tree of life, and I made it like life size, so you could put the tarot cards like in the middle of the Sephirah and like study it and all that. And so I worked on that a couple years ago, and I began it in Gemini season, and then right around the time Cancer season came, I like started over on the tree and like started it from scratch after like I messed with it for a bit, and I created this tree and then created this whole thing. And it was like a really cool experience because like there's like so many layers. Like I'm in Photoshop, right? And there's like so many layers, if you know anything about that. And so like there's like a lot of like having to organize and name every layer and like all that, but it was really, really productive for me, and like I really enjoyed it and I got a lot out of it. On top of that, it was a very spiritual experience. Okay, and so with all that said, don't mean to make it about me, but as an example, I feel like this is a time for you to really just if you find yourself in that position where you're not feeling too great with the Strength card in reverse, where you're just kind of like where you don't want to be in the public eye regardless of your sun placement, this is a good time to really take a step back and to find something or to already have something to work on. Okay, this is a good time for you to rediscover a part of yourself that is hidden or that you repress or suppress. Okay, it's a part of yourself because it's Strength card in reverse. It's a part of yourself that you're afraid of the world seeing. Okay, instead of just going out there willy-nilly and showcasing that side, why don't you take a step back and tap into that and ask yourself, okay, why don't you want to be seen in this aspect of your life? Okay, what is holding you back really? And is it really that detrimental that you continue to hold yourself back in that area? So I can give another example. I really didn't want to make this video. I didn't want to do these readings because I don't want to be on camera right now. Actually, I'm finding myself wanting to take like a social media break once more, and I take them periodically, right? I'll go a couple weeks without like logging into Twitter or logging into Instagram or whatever. It allows me to really focus on my crafts. You know, I do get a lot done during this time because I'm not on social media. At the same time, it is about me wanting to also hide from the world a bit, to kind of just things can get really overwhelming, and so it's just like I need to take a step back. Okay, I feel like you're finding yourself in that position where, but that's the thing though, when I do take that step back and I'm able to sit with myself, I discover why I didn't want to be, seen in the first place, or I can heal whatever it is that it was preventing me from wanting to be seen. And in this case, it's just like, I just thought about it, like, if I don't make this reading, and let's say I don't make this reading today, maybe I won't make it a couple days from now, and it's just like on my channel, I'm gonna have a missing video for the new moon series that I'm doing. Cancer's gonna be missing, and it's just like, well, it's okay, it's not that serious. Like, I don't make any money from this, and I'm just doing this for the love of it, to offer my guidance, because I feel like I can tap into things, and for me, I guess it's useful for myself, but if I could offer it to other people, then, why not? Like, why not do that? And so that could be like another thing. And I'm sorry to making this about me, but I'm just trying to relate, because that is a very Libra thing, is trying to relate through others, through yourself, like by what you do and what you have to offer. So anyways, that could be something, a way of looking at it. It's just like, I'm not doing this for selfish reasons, right? But it would be selfish of me to pull back and hide away, which is fine if I absolutely need it, but I really don't. Like, I really don't need to hide right now. It's okay if I come out and record this video and do these readings for you guys, because ultimately I want to, like I said, I want to offer that guidance. I want to offer that service to other people. And it is a bit of a marketing tactic. Like, I am trying to attract new clients, but it is what it is. At the same time, it's like I have all of this, whatever ability you want to call it, why not put it to good use? Why not offer it to other people? And that's the thing about the 10th house too, and especially if you're a Libra rising. Even if you're not a Libra rising, this still affects you. Is that with the 10th house, it is about home and family. It is about security, and it is a bit introverted. But it is, the 10th house is about the service you offer to others. And so you could look at it like that. Like, there's I know I've said a lot, so I hope, this is, like, I'm channeling too, so I hope, like, this is all making sense and, like, flowing. But look at it like, what do you have to offer the world to other people? Like, what kind of knowledge and skill and wisdom, more importantly, that you have, that is probably what's holding you back. When you're more conscious of things, you tend to see more than what is seen, or you tend to pay attention to things more than maybe most other people. So with Virgo in the 12th house too, you could definitely see more than what other people can't see, because Virgo's very analytical, and the 12th house is the unforeseen and the hidden. And so Libra's risings can be really psychic people for sure, regardless of your other placements, because you could really calculate and see things that aren't necessarily there. Like, you could really easily make up scenarios in your head and, like, solve problems in your head that don't exist. You could easily, like, make that up if you want. And so with that, because you have that ability, you could apply it to just about anything in your life. Okay. And so with Cancer in the 10th house, I feel that this is a place where it's your wisdom, and it's like your upbringing, in a sense, like what you learned as a child, like what is basically second nature to you, and you don't really think about, right? Is something that you could actually offer to other people. Okay. My abilities are second nature, and so I can just offer it to other people. So with all that said, I know this is really confusing, but it is a confusing time for you guys, I think, because I do feel like a lot of you just want to pull back, and that's fine, but don't pull back completely, because I still feel like Cancer season, you still want to show up, but at the same time, ask yourself things, because this is your image and reputation. So yeah, I didn't have to make this video, but then I'm gonna have a video missing, and it's not really important. per se, but as far as like my reputation and image goes, it doesn't look good like on my channel, right? At least to anyone that's paying attention, it doesn't look good. I'm definitely paying attention, but that's the thing too, like you're paying attention, right? And so if there's something that you're paying attention to that you see that maybe other people aren't gonna see or give a fuck about, I still feel like it's important to you in some way. And I'm sorry this is all over the place, like you guys are definitely all over the place, like, because I channel everyone when I do these readings. It's just it's a mess. So I don't know, Libra, I think you just are, for one, you're juggling too much. Okay, you're definitely doing too much right now, so pick one to three things to focus on at this time. And it may mean having to like give up something, and that's fine because it's temporary. Not everything lasts forever. And yeah, like, let me take a moment here. I think there's just so much questioning that you do to yourself with the Strength and card in reverse. It's like you just question so much and you think about so much, and you don't really need to give it that much thought. Okay, you do need a plan, of course, you do need to think about it, but it's just like, I guess it's like you don't need to spend more than a minute thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like, you know how sometimes we can think about something for a long time, especially like if you get high or something, like this happens. Like I'll smoke and then just think about something, or like fixate on something for a long time, and it's just like, wait, what am I doing? Like, this is such a waste of time. But it's even like with anger, like, you know how some people can just like keep going with something, like they keep like going on and on about, but it's just like, okay, well, it's fine like letting it out and just being like, oh, this happened and made me upset, and you know, that's fine. But like when you keep, what is the word? There's like a word, it starts with a R. I forget it right now, but when you keep like messing with it and picking at it, it's just like, then it's not productive, then it's not motivating, it's actually draining your energy. Okay, and so I think that's why you may feel at this time that you want to hide away, or maybe you feel like you're low on energy, or you can't do something, or you feel stuck, and it's because there's too much that you're paying attention to. And with this Cancer new moon, I think it's a very positive new moon for everybody. I'm definitely getting a sense of renewal, self-discovery, and just like a peace of mind. We have Jupiter here in conjunction with the new moon, and so he's offering assistance as well. And everything's crazy right now, as we all know. I think this new moon is definitely providing a little bit of relief at this time, and so just take advantage of that. Take advantage of this relief and just tap into it. Okay, everything I said, and then everything else that just comes up. Okay, like this reading's really long, and I just feel like I'm all over the place, but you guys are definitely all over the place. And just, again, focus on a few things, and yeah, just that's all it is. So I'm gonna end that there, and we're gonna pull oracle cards for you, or just one oracle card, and we're gonna see what the Urban Crow Oracle has to say. Okay, so we got a really good one for you guys. We got number 25, influence. Right? So 25, influence. Like impressionable teenagers, crows pick up on our habits, even the bad ones. Crows have been known to get drunk as well as smoke. Are you letting someone influence your behavior? There is a loss of control when influence is at play. A more dominant personality may make you feel inclined to engage in a risky behavior you would otherwise avoid. On the flip side, you may find someone strong and healthy to be inspirational, and because of their influence, you too feel motivated to make positive changes. Influence brings to your awareness the decisions that you may not have made if it weren't for an outside force leading the way. Like a Pied Piper leading the way with intoxicating music, you may be caught in another spell. A situation, whether whether it be current, from the past, or in the near future, may be the result of someone's charm or talent at swaying people. When influence appears, consider taking a moment to examine if you have been swayed into making a decision that you might not have made if the situation were different. For example, a salesperson may influence your decision to buy something you can't afford if they know the right way to manipulate you. And so I think that's great because, like I said, you guys are seem to be a little all over the place, and so there seems to be influences in your life that kind of it's pulling your attention in many different directions. You have all these things just trying to grab your attention, and so you just need to cut out all the noise and just pick 3 things that are important to you and just focus on that right now, and it should all clear up. And also go deeper within, because of that Strength card in reverse. I think there's something here that some kind of insecurity or self-doubt that you're having, whatever it may be, that you're going to be able to release and let go of by the end of Cancer season. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys. So thank you for watching, Libra, and I'll catch you in the next video. Scorpio rising, moon, or sun sign. The Scorpio on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your 9th house of higher learning, philosophy, religion, long distance travel, publications, luck and fortune, and moral values. Okay, so for you guys, we got the King of Swords as well as the Wheel of Fortune. And so for you guys, I feel like you are being really diplomatic right now. I feel like there's something that you're trying to initiate, or there's a really important conversation that needs to be had. Maybe you're going to give a speech even, because this is the 9th house, and so we are dealing with publication and public speaking. And you could think Hierophant energy, even though the Hierophant is ruled by Taurus. It is definitely 9th house energy to me. Okay, I feel like the High Priestess is 2nd house, and then if we're gonna look at it that way, and then the 9th house is or I guess it would be 3rd house, and then the 9th house would be the Hierophant, but not really that. I don't know, maybe there's a system where that is, but in Kabbalah that's not the case. But either way, I feel like there's something here where you're kind of just taking initiative, where you're just kind of you could even just be speaking up for yourself, or standing up for yourself, or your values, or what you believe in. You could even be coming out of the closet in some way, but it could just be you are telling everybody what you really believe in. Maybe you're even changing religion or something, or you're converting, or if whatever the case. Okay, with the Wheel of Fortune, it's a card that means that your fate's being tested at this time. Okay, and it's I'm a determinist, but it's whatever you do at this time will decide your fate. Okay, whatever actions you take will decide your fate. And so yeah, there's some things we can't control, right? We're not necessarily in charge of our own fate per se, but yeah, maybe we can find a way to work around it in some way. Maybe there are certain things that we do. I look at it from a perspective where it's just what's inside is what you can control for the most part. I mean, if you're a healthy individual, but everything outside of you can't control. And so your reaction to things you can't control, right? Can't control something bad happening in front of you, but the way you react to it is in your control, right? Regardless of influence. And so I think right now it's a good time for you to be really aware, especially self-aware, because there are going to be triggering events, okay, that do determine some kind of outcome in your life, whether it be a literal physical outcome or just an outcome within inside of you. Okay, so it's a bit of both of internal and external realities here, because it's the Wheel of Fortune, right? And it's air energy with the King of Swords, and so there's a lot that you need to do inside. There's a lot that you need to consider as well, okay? So I feel like for you guys, you know, maybe out of all the moon signs, or all the signs up until you guys have it's been pretty smooth. I feel like you guys are going to struggle a little bit with this new moon. At the same time, I do feel this new moon for all 12 signs is bringing relief. It is bringing renewal, reconciliation, okay? There's a lot for even rest, okay? There's a lot to take advantage here when it comes to a lot of the positive changes in the world, okay? Because I do understand that there's a lot going on right now. You know, and Scorpios, you guys are the detectives. Like, you guys could see things that others really can't see. It's like all the water signs can, but you could see things in the physical reality that other people can't see. Whereas Pisces could see things in like a higher, like, metaphysical reality. Cancer could see things in the emotional realm of things, in our emotional body, okay, and others' emotional body. And so you see things happening on the surface. You might be like one of those people that notice like eye movements when people talk. You know, they say like when you look left or right or left, yeah, whatever, or up or down, like it means something. I kind of think that's true, but I mean, it depends on the label of that, because there's been some where it's like if you look left or right, it's like they're lying. But like, I've done a lot of tarot readings where I would look in that direction. It's like, well, I don't know if I'm lying. Like, I'm just channeling, like I'm just saying stuff, so whatever. Like, so I don't know how true that is, but it's something like that where you just like, you notice like little subtleties, like little shifts in people's behavior or in the environment even, okay? So with all that said, I think this is kind of like it might be a little unsettling, okay? It might be a little disruptive. I think with the Wheel of Fortune, why it's so unsettling, it's because it's not a time to rest right now. Where I feel like for a lot of the other signs, they can rest. I don't think it's a time for you to rest right now. Not right now, okay? We'll see how the Leo new moon goes, okay? But also in the house wherever Cancer falls in, even if it doesn't fall in your 9th house, but you do want to consider the 9th house, you're going to see some restlessness there. You're going to see the wheel just spinning and spinning. It might even just keep spinning for 6 months, honestly, and you're not going to find resolution until the Cancer full moon. So there's a lot you could do in 6 months, right? There's a lot of decisions you can make. And so I think this is just a time for you to just kind of like walk the path you want to walk, but also go with your intuition, tap into the higher mind, your higher consciousness. Okay, that's like another theme I'm getting with this Cancer new moon, is people tapping into that higher consciousness. And it kind of makes sense because Jupiter is in conjunction with this new moon, so he's offering a lot of assistance. And I think he's also there to help give us some relief too. And I think that's why I feel that so heavily, like all this relief. So look at it as a blessing. Like, look at the upside to this, okay? Because I know it can be a little heavy for some. But I think it's meant to clear, okay? This is meant to clear a lot of karma for you guys, okay? You are being judged, though. This is a card of judgment, okay? It's watching what you do, and it's gonna react to what you do, okay? So that's basically what I got for you guys. So before we go, let's go ahead and pull an oracle card and get a message from the Urban Crows. So for you guys, we got number 40, resistance. Okay, so 40, resistance. There may be a strong wind coming your way. However, you do have the ability to find a path with the least resistance. Have you ever seen a crone get thrown by the wind? The bird may get taken off ground, but it finds its balance again. Resistance brings an obstacle or adds friction to a situation. Ideas that once would have sailed into completion might now require some additional work. You may find a project or goal now requires an extra step to pass on to another phase. Resistance might manifest itself as a need for approval from an outside influence that takes longer to achieve. When resistance appears in a reading, you are asked to be adaptable and find the path of least resistance. And here's a quote: "You are the sky, Everything else is just the weather. And I can't pronounce this name, so here. I cannot pronounce that name, so I apologize. All right, so that's what we got for you guys. I think that really tied into the reading. Wheel of Fortune, you don't want to resist too much, and you also don't want to apply too much pressure, because you're meant to just keep spinning and kind of just keep going where life takes you. So thank you for watching, Scorpio, and I'll catch you in the next video. Sagittarius, rising, moon, or sun sign. With Sagittarius on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your 8th house of rebirth, transformation, inheritance, marriage, the hidden mysteries, and personal/soul development. Okay, so for you guys, we got the Queen of Swords. Oh, it's kind of bright, sorry. There we go. And then the 7 of Wands in reverse. Okay, so for Scorpio, we got the King of Swords, if that means anything to you. And so for you guys, I think this is a good time for you to evaluate and to plan, and it has to do with resources, and it has to do with like where you're putting your money and who you're giving your money to. I feel like there could be something or someone that you're investing in that they're not performing, or they're not going to perform. Okay, and so and I don't mean to make it like a prediction, like this is really what's gonna happen, but it's just like what I'm getting. So there could be like a failed project or experiment of some sort here. Okay, so whether or not you're supposed to do this, like you're supposed to invest into this failed experiment, whether it's financially or like however, whichever way you invest, I'm just getting like it's not gonna work out. But it's kind of like that thing where like when one door closes, another one opens. Okay, so yeah, like after hearing that, you're just like, okay, why would I invest my money into something, a failed project then? Well, it's gonna open a new door. Okay, so but at the same time, like disclaimer, read the disclaimer at the bottom of this video, because you know, whatever you actually do is not my business, and I have no control, and I'm not responsible. So, and I'm definitely not a financial advisor by any means. So just take the reading for what it is, because I feel like that was like advice that like is very bold advice, right? Like that doesn't sound like the best advice to give, at least in my opinion. So you know, with the Queen of Swords too, this is about being diplomatic. This is about being there's also something about being presentable. Okay, you want to show this is crazy, you want to show your cards, like you want to show your face card is what I first heard initially. You kind of just want to be, so there's some vulnerability here. Okay, and I get that from the Queen of Swords. Sometimes I do get a sense of vulnerability. She kind of like, it's an energy, you know, and it's Libra we're dealing with. Of course, I didn't have to look, but I always double check to where it's, you look at the Justice, Lady Justice, she's blindfolded and she has a sword in one hand and a scale in the other. And that blindfoldedness is what makes her vulnerable. Okay, and she also is defending herself. She has a sword, so that could also make her vulnerable, because that could make her a target, right? Because she wouldn't have a sword if she wasn't a target, right? And then she has the scales, which could also make her vulnerable, because it isn't up to her which way the scales tip. Okay, and that's an archetype of Libra and people with Libra energy. So you could be dealing with a Libra, or maybe you want to tap into wherever Libra is in your chart, and if you have any planets there. So yeah, it is about being vulnerable, but also being aware. I know she's blindfolded, but she is still she's not gonna let anything slip past her, which sounds crazy, but that's, you know, it is what it is. Okay, and so, you know, with the 7 of Wands in reverse, that's where I'm getting like that failed experiment or a failed victory, or just like this vulnerability, just like putting your showing your cards or putting your cards out on the table. puts you in a position where you're probably going to face a lot of criticism, okay? You're probably going to face a lot of resistance from the outside, a lot of pushback, a lot of like, just a lot of opposition, but it's gonna, I think the message here is, even though that happens, it's still some kind of illusion to it. Like, it's not real, or it's really like the opposition, it's like all bark, no bite, okay? That's kind of like what I'm getting. It's like, yeah, like you're gonna face pushback, but that pushback isn't really all that real. And so that's why this failed experiment isn't really like a failed experiment, you know? There's a reason why it needs to, okay? And so it could be literally, or you could take this just as a metaphor for something in your life. And this is the 8th house. This is other people that you give to. This is what other people give to you as well. And so if this isn't like you going through this could be what's happening to you at the same time. It goes either way, or it can go both ways. So yeah, I think this is a good time for you to, you know, be really vocal, be very communicative, don't leave anything out, read the fine print, you know, and be truthful and honest, because later down the line, that's gonna really speak about your character, and it's actually gonna be what saves you at the end of the day. You know, with the opposition, with the resistance, with the pushback, or the lack of support, even maybe people even pull funds from you or from what you're doing or whatever. You being like true to yourself and honest and like open about what it is you're doing is going to pay off later on down the road, because that's what people ultimately respect is truth and honesty, and a sense of transparency. Now, you don't have to show everything, right? You don't have to give all of it away, but you know, enough to where, because I know how Sagittarius are, you know, but enough to where it's gonna lead to trust. And I think that's what's really important here with the 8th house energy, with Cancer there, or wherever Cancer is in your birth chart. Even with the 8th house energy, if that's not your 8th house, because that's what's still being activated in your life, where when you apply trust there, you're gonna get a lot of feedback, especially the 8th house, because it is about again, resources and money coming in and money going out, and even like things like the occult and sex and things like that. So intimacy, you know, it's morality, even, although I kind of get morality from the 9th house, but you know, so it's all those things and then some. Okay, so I think that's basically all I need to say for you guys. Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and stop there. This Cancer new moon is going to bring relief, so this will be something that gives you relief, even if it is an issue or something you really do go through, like struggle with. And it's 14:14 on the clock, so you know, you're building something here. You're setting the tone for future acknowledgement, future opportunities, because like you never know who's watching, okay? Like, you never know. So be on your best A game, and just be honest, just be yourself. Like, if I know Sagittarius like can be a bit you know, Sagittarius can be a bit Sagittarius, you know, I don't need to say it, but you can go about it in a way that's like, it doesn't push people away or turn people off in that way. Like people have fun with it, because I know Sag can kind of come off like kind of mean, and like people want to keep their distance, you know, but there is a side to you guys to where people like absolutely like adore your energy and love being, it's kind of like Leo energy, like they love being in your presence, okay? And so yeah, just go off of that. So let's go ahead and pull an oracle card now. Guys, we got number 27, isolation. So 27, isolation. Even when surrounded by a group, we all have experienced the feeling of being alone at one time or another. You may need to consider if you are holding back input out of fear or expressing an unpopular opinion. This card might also indicate a group or community that didn't connect with your beliefs, causing you to feel ostracized. Use this time to look inward, examining what ideas or insights come to mind. Isolation may also indicate a need to remove yourself from a situation to quiet your mind and contemplate your next move. Isolation may bring to the surface feelings associated with abandonment and can represent a block centered around a fear that your actions may lead to not being accepted or removed from a group. Fear of being cast aside might result in you limiting your potential by withholding ideas or suppressing inspiration. For example, if you grew up in a home where lack and scarcity of resources was a dominating factor, and now as an adult you have opportunities to create financial freedom, the fear of no longer fitting in with your family may prevent you from reaching your greatest potential. If you were successful, you may risk conflict with your family as your paths diverge. So that's interesting because I did forget to mention how Cancer is related to family. So everything in my reading could have been family orientated. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. So with that said, thank you for watching Sagittarius, and I'll catch you in the next video. Capricorn, rising, moon, or sun sign. With Capricorn on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your 7th house of connection to others, integration, union, partnerships, diplomacy, and contracts. Okay, so for you guys, we got the 9 of Wands and then the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay. So we are dealing with the 7th house. This might be a difficult time for you guys. And I only say that because, I don't know, it's just because what I'm saying. I feel like the earlier signs got it pretty easy. And then come Scorpio, things start to get a little like, a little difficult. And it's just because I believe, you know, the moon is, or the energy of Cancer, the new moon is coming into opposition and, you know, in conjunction and things like that to you guys. And so, you know, the later signs may have a bit more difficulty here. But with the 9 of Wands and the Ace of Swords, so I feel like there's something you're not really seeing clearly. There's something that you're really holding on to. This could be a relationship that's expired, that's no good. It could be a situation. It could be a memory even. Something that you're just harboring and holding on to that it's not really proving beneficial to you. With the Ace of Swords in reverse, there's just something you're not really seeing clearly. There's like an opportunity being presented here, and you're basically just like, you're ignoring it, and you're ignoring it because I think you have this idea that maybe you have this idea that everything's fine, there's nothing wrong, or maybe you are afraid of change. That could be something that some Capricorns can struggle with. It's just like I've built all this up, like I've been stockpiling this, and you want me to do what? Like, you want me to completely do something else now? And Capricorns, it's just like they don't really like doing that because they like to work really hard towards something and accomplish it. And I feel like something you've been working really hard towards, it's not being accomplished. It's not turning out the way in which you hoped or worked for. And, you know, I mean, that's fine, because for the time being, it definitely worked for you, right? It brought you to here, because otherwise it wouldn't have. And I think that's something important to pay attention to. It's just like, yeah, like, this isn't a waste, okay? You know, this new opportunity being presented to you, it could be a new job, but it could be a new job in a whole completely different field, a whole new field. It could be a brand new relationship, of whether, you know, platonic, romantically, whatever, but it could be a relationship like you would never expect to see or to get into. Like, it was never possible or perceivable to you before. And so I think this Cancer new moon, why it's so uncomfortable, is because you have to get out of your comfort zone. It's challenging you to update something in your life, okay? This wasn't all for nothing. It may seem like it because of what you invested into it, whether it's time, money, or resources. but it's really not, because it was there to teach you and guide you, you know. It's kind of like how some of us go through several relationships that don't work out, and then we finally get the one relationship. And, you know, without those experiences that we had in previous relationships, we may have not gotten that one relationship, or maybe there's experiences that we need to have first, okay, before we can get into the right relationship, so that way we know the right thing to do, right? So it's just, look at it as just like, they don't look at them as like failed experiments, you know. It's interesting because Sagittarius, I got something about a failed experiment here, or in their reading. You know, don't look at it like that. Look at it, it's just like, it was an opportunity. It was, there's a lot of good in it. There's a lot of good times. And without those experiences, it wouldn't have led up to this moment in time in history, and in your past, you know, in your relationship or whatever it may be. And so, you know, just look at it like that. So we want to turn this right side up, right? We want to accept the offer that's being given to us, and it is an offer to where you do have to change your mindset. Your lifestyle, your habits are going to have to change, and you know, one thing at a time. And they're going to change. You want to change them to the way they best suit you and best work for you, but at the same time, you're going to probably have to try new things. And but those new things that work will work, okay, and the new things that don't work won't work. But you might need to experience a little bit of both, because that's air energy. Air is everywhere, so air experiences everything. Like air signs, like I'm a Libra rising, like we experience everything, like everything possible, because air is everywhere. It's everywhere all at once. So you gotta just consider that. Maybe you need to be everywhere all at once right now. Maybe you need to be a jack of all trades, right? Because it's going to lead to opportunity. And so this new moon, I get a sense of renewal and reconciliation. I also get a sense of being able to kind of like take a break, also be blessed by Jupiter, because Jupiter's here, but also a time for people to kind of just like, like renew something in your life. I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, it's so dumb. I forgot what I was going to say. I knew I should have said it before I carried on, but whatever. I think you guys get it. So, I think now that we got to the end of the reading, I could see why things seem difficult at first, because you have to accept something new and weird, or seemingly at first. But once you kind of like sit with it more and kind of like open yourself to it, and like clear your schedule, like just like don't make plans. And that's something I've been wanting to like tell people. Like I just feel like all the plans you have, everyone needs to make new ones, like because of like what's just going on in the world. But like transit wise, like the astrology is just screaming at me, like none of it. It's almost like COVID. Like we had all of these plans, and then COVID hit, and then like those plans are gone, or whatever. Like they had to take a break, at least for that time being. So it's something like that. Like I don't know, maybe another event like that will happen to where everyone has to like adjust to the new reality that's existing. But either way, it's just like I really do feel like we should all make your plans, but maybe kind of like leave room for plan C, because I think plan A and B, whatever you got for A and B, just be open for C, because I don't know, I just feel deeply that something's gonna happen and we're all gonna have to adjust to it. So you guys are gonna be hit by it too the hardest, because you're opposite Cancer. So when it comes to this Cancer energy that I'm speaking on, so but overall I do feel it is good. I think it's gonna lead to something here, and what it leads to, I feel like I could expand on with more cards, but I'm not going to. So I think we'll come to see that later on in other new moon readings. So be sure to watch future new moon readings. So let's go ahead now and pull some oracle cards. So for you guys, we got number 23, growth. Definitely what's happening here. So 23, growth. Crows become more vocal and aggressive when it is time for the young ones to learn how to fly. This is a pivotal moment in the young bird's life, and once this lesson has been mastered, the world becomes so much greater. You too may be at a crucial moment, and the lesson may be difficult at first, but once you understand it, a new world will open up to you. Growth directs your attention to areas of your life that have become remarkably different as a result of gaining a skill or understanding that you did not possess in the past. For example, learning a new language may have opened the door to new opportunities. Developing an understanding of your triggers that lead to sabotaging behavior or habits can help you overcome a block that once created stagnation. You may pull this card if you're on the cusp of a growth spurt, as a change that will move your life in a new direction is approaching. So that's great, because that's definitely what I was picking up on. So that's all I got for you guys, Capricorn. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Aquarius, rising moon or sun sign. With Aquarius on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your 6th house of daily routine, health and habits, work ethics, services, performances, and skills. Okay, so for you guys, we got the 3 of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. So with the 3 of Pentacles, I first got that you need to lend a helping hand to a neighbor or a friend or somebody within your local community. Okay, it might even be quite literally like helping them build a house or build something in their house, or even like installation of some kind. Okay, that's really specific though, so that won't apply to everybody, but that's definitely something I was picking up on. Either way, I feel like there's something that you need to work on or could work on that requires the assistance of other people. And so this is an opportunity for you to do some teamwork or to learn and grow through teamwork of some kind, okay? So it could be something physically, like you guys doing something together physically, or it could even be through the internet. Okay, there's something maybe you guys do together through communicating through the internet, okay? Either way, it is going to require a team effort, and like it's going to present itself a new opportunity for you, okay? So these could be complete strangers that you get together and work on something with, or just if they're not like complete strangers, you're just gonna learn something completely new that you probably wouldn't have learned before, okay? So this could all be like literally, or you could take that like metaphorically for something happening in your life. With the Page of Pentacles, it's cool to see 2 pentacles together. I even got that with Taurus. They got 2 pentacle energy because this signifies a lot of growth and abundance. A lot of long-term planning is required, as well as patience. But it's going to be really beneficial. This is something that you can really rely on. At least you can build it up to something that's reliable, sustainable. Okay, so I did mention something about helping a neighbor or somebody with their home or something like that. So maybe there's some kind of sustainable living. So maybe you're a gardener, or you have experience with gardening, and so you could help offer assistance to your neighbor or your friend or whoever that wants to get into gardening or whatever. Maybe they bought a lot of land and they need help like deciding where to build their garden. I mean, it could be anything like that, to where you have some kind of knowledge that you could offer to somebody close, okay? So within the community, okay? So that's why I said like neighbor or friend or somebody. So yeah, there's the sense of teamwork, but there's also the sense of you having to act alone, or you having to lead in some way. So it's kind of like, if it is like a group project, then like everyone has their own individual task. Like this person works on, like, think of like a school project where like this person does the graphics, this person does maybe they write the first half of the project, and then you write the last half of it, or something like that. Or maybe you do all the researching, someone does all the graphics, and then somebody like puts it all together, okay? And so it could be something like that. And I feel like you could be the one that like puts it all together, like you're like the center, okay? It doesn't have to be 3 people, but we are dealing with the Three of Pentacles, okay? And so there's this Trinity energy here, okay? So I don't get a sense of you working alone, but it can be something that you do work alone, to where it's almost like you have to split yourself into two more people, like three, and like do all these different things. Like you have to, like, you know, direct and produce and write. Like it could be something like that, where you take on many different roles. But I do get the sense that you're not working alone, or it's going to be more beneficial if you don't work alone, okay? So you don't have to do everything, but you're kind of like the glue to the project here. Okay, so like on a personal level, I think you're just you're ready to be more self-sustaining. Like you're ready, whatever that may be, whether it's financially or like living the way you live. Like maybe you want to live more off-grid, you know, maybe you want to buy land and livestock and stuff, and that way you don't really have to rely on the grocery store anymore, or whatever it may be. Like, you know, you have your own stuff. So it could be something like that, and that could be anything in your life, okay? What else? So yeah, I'm just getting that like you're a key player in this, okay? This is your 6th house, okay? So it is like acts of service and your work, your daily routine. So this is like an everyday thing. It's going to become a lifestyle, whatever this is. So whatever this is too, it is something new. It's a new opportunity that will present itself. And yeah, you just kind of like, you gotta just do your thing and do what you gotta do. So that's basically what I got for you guys. Let's go ahead and pull an oracle card. So we got number 26, Insight. Number 26, Insight. Crows and ravens are problem solvers. Crows make tools and learn from each action. In this illustration, you see the crow dropping rocks into the water. After testing a couple of rocks, the crow began to understand the relationship between the stones and the water. It learned that with each rock, the water would rise, and as a result, the buoyant shrimp would rise too. Insight asks that you take the time to examine your situation. Test out different strategies to gain wisdom. When you understand the relationship between all contributing factors, you will be able to identify actions that yield little benefit or remove any obstacles that may have been in your way, and then in turn, apply strategies that expedite success. So I think that's great. I think that definitely goes along with the reading I gave to you. And so with that said, thank you so much for watching, Aquarius, and I will catch you in the next video. Pisces rising, moon, or sun placement. With Pisces on the ascendant, this new moon will be placed in your 5th house of self-expression, creativity, passions, hobbies, personal interests, dating life, and children. So for you guys, we got Justice and the 9 of Swords. And it's interesting because I've pulled the 9 of each suit in these readings. So Taurus got the 9 of Pentacles, Cancer got the 9 of Cups, and then I believe it was Leo who got the 9 of Wands, and then also Capricorn got the 9 of Wands as well. And so you guys have the 9 of Swords. And Libra or Virgo got Justice as well. And so for them, I picked up on karmic justice, and that they will receive some karmic justice. For you, I could see a relief from a period in your life or a situation in your life that has really drained you, really bogged you down. It probably just occupied every waking moment of your life. Something that just, it was really weighing heavy on you. So even if it doesn't speak about like depression or anxiety or any kind of struggle in that sense, I just feel like there's just this weight that's been on you for so long. And now with Justice, I feel like, and this new moon, that you could receive some kind of relief from that, okay? And we're dealing with the 5th house, and so this is a good time for you to just, you know, go out more, live a little more, you know, spend time away from people, situation, places that really bring you down. So if you're just cooped up in your room all day, like maybe go out into the living room or something, like, or go sit outside, or you know what I mean, like leave the spaces and the people behind that just don't really feel like in alignment with you anymore, okay? And so I think you need to initiate some justice into your own life. I think it could be partially to do with a lack of boundaries, or you're in a situation, I feel like someone's being manipulative, like taking advantage of you in some way. Even if they're like, they can even just be like an energy vampire. They just suck the energy out of the room. So yeah, like you need to take initiative here with justice. And with justice in your reading, it means that things will fall into divine order for you. Now, this is something that can go on for 6 months, as this leads to the Cancer full moon in January, at the beginning of January. And so this could be a slow building progression, or it could show up in spurts, or show up in very specific situations, or even like in a cycle. You know, like you might experience this right now, and then you'll overcome it, and then later down the line a very similar experience happens where you got to clear that up. So it is some karmic clearing, but I feel like it's you that has to initiate it. It's you that has to take more control of yourself, because you're kind of like, you're literally letting everything just sit on you, you know, and sit on your shoulders, and you don't need to do that, okay? And it's not really a Piscean thing to kind of like like we kind of take on the burdens of others, but it's not really Piscean to just be completely enamored by what other people got going on, you know? So I could feel like these are things that don't align with you anyways. Maybe there's just a lot of responsibility, you know, like at work, like you do too much, and now you need to relinquish control, or you know, give up some of that for other people, give up some of that pie for other people is what I'm getting. So yeah, there's like a couple ways this reading seems to be going. So it really is just about you, it's almost like rewriting the script, and I think it's just a time for you to really enjoy yourself right now too. So that could be like another aspect. You maybe need to stop taking life so seriously right now and literally go play and have fun. And especially because Jupiter's on this new moon, so I do really feel that he's bringing some relief and renewal to everybody in these trying times. And so I think this is a great opportunity for you to take advantage of the good energy that's out there, regardless of what's going on, regardless of how it's aspecting your chart personally. I mean, just like fuck it, like, you know, just you know, like live. And you know, especially as a Pisces, sometimes I'm a Pisces moon, and we can really, and I'm not trying to give myself credit, but I see myself as somewhat an evolved Pisces moon. Now, that's not to say that I don't have my problems, but I feel like I really tap into the abilities that a Pisces moon is very capable of possessing in each and every one of you. And it's just Pisces in general, via Pisces energy, like there's this ability for you to be able to just tune into the other side of what's on the other side of the veil, okay? And in every aspect, you know, Pisces makes some great musicians, especially Pisces moons, like Michael Jackson, Prince, maybe, I don't know if he was, what's his name, Elvis Presley, Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, I'm trying to think of the girls. There's just so many, honestly, that they're Pisces moons, and they're like legendary. And like the music, what's so great about seeing Pisces when they engage with music is how like they literally like become one with the music. Like they're so fun to watch when they're being when they're like Pisces are fun to watch when they're musicians or engaging in that kind of act, or even just like listening to music, because they just like completely absorb it because that's what Pisces does. It's really good at absorbing everything. And so like when you see them in that element, it's just like incredible stuff. They literally transcend, like you see it happening in front of you. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, just look at Michael Jackson. Like, he transcends everything in his music. And so you could do that to anything in your life that you are passionate about. If there's passion there, you're going to transcend it for sure. And so that's what the 5th house is about. It is about enjoying and playing in your passions and your hobbies. So this is a fantastic time, regardless of where Cancer sits in your birth chart, to engage in your hobbies, to start a new hobby, to just, if music's your thing, listening. I'm not a musician, but I fucking love listening to music. Like, it's just everything to me. So, and it's interesting because I haven't really been listening too much this year. So I think this Cancer season, I should get back into it some more and just have it on more. Get involved in that a little bit more. Like, put yourself into it. And so, it's Leo energy. Leo is all about embodying whatever it is that they're doing. That's what makes them like the actor of the zodiac, because and I have a Leo sun, and like, they're very expressive, and like, they can just like imitate what they see on the TV. Like, they can totally become that character. So that's that 5th house energy. So yeah, that's like what I'm getting. So rest assured, I know the 9 of Swords does not look so great, but even when I pulled it, I'm just like, that's not what I feel, okay? And so I think in the beginning, that may be the case for you, or maybe up until this point, this moment in time, that was the case. But now there's definitely relief. Justice is going to relieve you, but at the same time, you got to take initiative. And I really feel one way you can take initiative is to just engage in the things that you're passionate about, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and pull an oracle card for you, and we'll wrap up this reading. So for you guys, we got number 4, balance. Number 4, balance. Have you ever noticed how even on windy days, crows and other birds can stay perfectly positioned on a thin telephone wire? They seem almost unfazed or unbothered by the wind. When we are in balance, we meet external forces with our internal strength, giving each space to exist in harmony. When balance appears, you may need to call upon your inner strength, as an approaching situation may test your ability to stay cool and composed. Just like the wind, it too will make its presence known and then move along. Balance may also appear when your daily schedule could use some reorganizing. Are you creating time for yourself, or is your day consumed with tasks that drain your energy? So that's definitely what I was touching up on. Let's get rid of what's draining us, what's weighing heavy on us, and just do what makes us feel good. So that's what I got for you guys, Pisces, and thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.